Yo, so it's 1 a.m. My voice is gonna be a little low, but hopefully I can get the message across. In this video, I'm gonna go on the changes in perspective that I have undergone when it comes to money, basically how I've healed my relationship to money, and how I've released its hold on me, on the necessity to consume and purchase things based on impulse. A lot of people struggle with money because they put a lot of their identity onto money. They believe that money will solve their problems. And there's a whole culture around money. People love money, right? And that's fine. I'm not really going to push against that. What I really want to push against, or what I want to present, is a perspective where you don't become a slave to money, in the sense that the moment you get money, you want to spend it. Or you feel like your life, your ups and downs, your happiness is very much dependent on money. The goal here is to not be dependent, is to be able to use money for the right things in a way that enhances your life. Have money enhance your life rather than that be a detriment to your life, to your happiness, to your consistency, to your stability. The goal here is stability. And so I've been able to get to a place where I'm chilling, I'm just living my life, and I'm working, but I don't work for money. I don't work and I don't worry about money. I don't think about money in the way that I used to anymore. Now, with the consistency that I have built through the months of me working as an employee, and also developing good financial habits, I've been able to get to a place where I don't worry about money. I know that in the future, what I will, as I'm building my business, as I'm working as an employee, I am bound to get a promotion as an employee, and I am bound to make more money as a businessman, as an entrepreneur. So, what I realized, though, through meditation and contemplation, I have also realized that the main grip that money has on people has to do with people's necessity to spend money, or to be attached to money. The necessity stems from a belief that our happiness is going to be enhanced through the next thing we purchase. It's a grip of, or an addiction of, us feeling like we need to spend something to fill a void. And I have sensed it in myself. I still sense it right now because it still comes up. But I can observe when my mind is wanting to purchase something, and it is doing it, but I have taken that impulse and I've run it through a system now where I really sit down and reflect on my past, my present, and my future. I think about my goals for the future. I think about my goals to pay off my debts. I think about the progress that I've made so far. I think about the amount of savings that I've had. So now, every decision that I make to purchase something means a lot more. It's about getting to a place where things mean a lot more to you, where money means a lot more to you, but in the same sense that it doesn't have as much weight over you. So I've been grappling or struggling or trying to figure out exactly where does money lie in my life, and how can I situate it in a way that is not so stressful, and where my stability is so much dependent on me making more money. And I think the first step to healing this was me realizing that making more money isn't always the answer, which sounds funny, but I realized that very early on when I was working on my business and I was stressing out, and I just kept telling myself I needed to make more money, and my business was limited because I wasn't making more money. And because if I made more money, I'd be able to pay for editors, I'd be able to pay for resources, I'd be able to leave my job. But in reality, I was using that as an excuse, or my mind was using that as an excuse to not sit and realize that what I needed wasn't more money, it was just more understanding of myself. It was more understanding of where I was, and allowing myself to learn the lessons of the place I was in. It was about me learning to see how I can still produce when I don't have the resources that I think I need to produce without the perfectionism. And that was a huge lesson that I learned, and it started with this necessity or this realization about money. Because when you think about it, if you're living a life, right? If you're living, which is what you're doing, but if you're living your life and you're wondering whether you're happy or not, whether you feel fulfilled or not, and you point to money, it's because I'm not making enough money, that might not be the case. It might be that you're not working on your passions. It might be that you're not following your intuition. It might be that you're not really chasing the thing that brings the most excitement to you. For example, I was watching this from Bashar, which he's a entity that is channeled, and he was teaching on this concept, and the person that asked him was saying, "Hey, I've been looking into trading for years now, and I haven't actually been successful. I've been learning to day trade, but I haven't been successful." And the guy asked him, Bashar asked her, "Is it the thing that brings you the most excitement?" And she said, "No." And he said, "Well, what is the thing that brings you the most excitement?" And she actually had, what excited her was the desire to create a business. And so the problem wasn't her making more money. The thing was that her manifestation wasn't coming true because that wasn't her path. It wasn't her deepest desire. It wasn't what her soul called her to do. So for her to make, so the answer didn't lie in making more money. The answer lied in her just sitting down and beginning her business, putting time into the thing that most excited her, to putting time into the things that meant a lot to her. And I realized that, and I reflected on myself, and I realized I was stopping myself from from doing the things that I love because I said I didn't have enough money, which is, I feel like, a lot of the things that people do, because I've seen it within myself and I've seen it within others. Even when you do make more money, if you're not in the state where you are following your passion and you're true to yourself, then that money will go to waste. You'll spend it on luxurious stuff that you don't need. You'll spend it on more noise, and it will just keep amplifying the noise that you carry until you realize until you become depressed, basically. So I've been living a more humble life where I give myself a small percentage of my income, and the rest of it goes to savings, it goes to paying off my debt, it goes to my business, it goes to my baby, it goes to my wife, and so I'm basically paying down what I need to live, and also paying forward so that I don't have to worry about my debt, focusing on the necessities, and then allowing myself to have a little bit extra for anything that I want. And naturally, as I've been reflecting and I've been instilling these habits, I've spent less and less. Naturally, I feel much more calm when it comes to money. When I look at my bank account, I don't have a reaction to whether I have a lot of money or a little bit of money. I understand where I am. I'm in constant connection with. I'm in. My relationship has become strengthened with money. I understand the value that it holds within my life, and I understand that it is meant to be a tool, but it's not meant to be the means. It's not meant to be the goal, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if I have millions of dollars if I'm not living true to myself. And I would rather, for me, I'm realizing that I don't need a big house, I don't need a nice car, I don't need all these things. I just need to be able to get my needs met, which are to eat, to have a roof over my head, and be progressing towards expanding my family. And as long as I have that, and I have a place for me to create my content, having my phone, for example, or my laptop, my computer, my workspace. As long as I have that, I am a very content person. I'm very happy, and and so through this process, I've been able to heal my relationship to money. I've been able to now get to a place where now I realize exactly where money lies. For me, it's about the development of my soul. It's the development of myself. Um, it's the development of my character, the development of the ideal, and that doesn't require money. It only requires a conscious attention to myself, to my thoughts. It requires a conscious attention to studying, to putting an intention out there to the world of being of service, and that doesn't require money. That it just means me going out and acting on the moment and knowing and meeting the moment when I am needed. That's all. And then if you think about the systems that we have currently, which where we get our money from, I realize that most of the money that I'm like from the 9 to 5s, the more the money is consistent there because it has been well established. It has been pretty concretized. Um, like the fact that people will pay for food, but the thing that kind of is not as like a vocation is very concrete, but a creative endeavor is not concrete. It takes time for you to be able to understand where like the value that your creativity brings, or it just takes time for you to develop your craft. So I've understood that if I have my vocation down, if I'm making money consistently, I have the 9 to 5, I have the restaurant job that I have, I'm making my money, I'm working the hours I need to work, the minimums, then the creative endeavors that I take on, anything that comes from that is going to be extra, and and it'll feed itself in the sense that I feel I feel now like I don't want to constrain, I don't want to put a specific label on the things that I'm doing. I only want to build my business little by little in a way that I allow the universe to tell me, okay, this is where you're needed, this is what people want. Um, and money will serve as like a barrier or a limiting thing where at first I'm working donation based, I'm getting the information, and then later on, as I'm looking to very like solidify my system, bring it into being, make it very concrete. As it becomes more concrete, then the money can be also more concrete. The amount can be more concrete, and so that's kind of like what I'm realizing with business and money, and it's allowed me to have a lot of peace in 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 my approach to service, where I put service first over money, and that's supposed to be the goal, to be able to put yourself first, where it becomes about the service rather than the money, and this mindset is something that I can go on and on about. But another thing that I want to mention is, for example, with my job, it's always been about the long-term game. I know that a few years down the line, I'm going to be making more money as a server because I just put that time in, and I've allowed myself to develop myself in that way, so naturally I can make more money. And so I'm not concerned too much about how much money I'm making right now. As long as I'm meeting my needs and I'm working towards my dreams, then I'm at peace. And I'm not so driven to spend. So I want this video to be kind of a reflection for you to think about, or a sort of, or some nuggets in there that I threw in so that you can begin to heal your own relationship to money. so you don't have to worry about it so much. Because I know it's hard. It's a struggle. I think it's a thing that I've been needing to work on for a while. It was the next natural step. So hopefully that was helpful. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Stay lucid. Peace.